Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Scrap the Boys. Our February 2024 challenge is to use craft paper as your background. So I've got myself a photograph and I've got a 12 by 12 of craft card, and I'm just going to reduce this in size a little. I'm just going to tear it there and making it about 9 by 12. I'm going to rough up that edge shortly. And I'm just seeing what paper I'm going to use underneath. So I've picked out lots of papers by 49 and Market, mainly from the Serenity collection, which was 2022, and one from the Captured Adventures collection from, I think, 2018. So I've roughed up that edge there. I've decided to go with the Captured Adventures cardstock behind, so it's a slightly dappled blue colour there, and I'm just looking at what I'd like to add in. I'm going to add a couple of layers between the Kraft Cardstock and the background layer. So I'm just going through all the bits and pieces that I've got from this collection from the Serenity. A lot of these are pre-made. I've got some music there and I've got some stamps. I think that is actually from Spectrum Sherbet, another 49 and Market collection. And I'm just having a good look. I'm looking at going with blues and greys and the craft colour. So because of that, I decided I was going to use a vintage photograph. The photograph is of my grandfather, looking very posh in his outfit with his pointy collars. Obviously a professional photograph. I don't know the year at the moment. I'll have to see if I can look it up. I've never scrapped it before, but I just thought actually, when I saw the Kraft Cardstock as a base, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use it. I don't use craft as much as I used to, and that's therefore why it's such a good challenge by Scrap the Boys. But I decided that I was going to go vintage. So that's why I looked at the 49 and Market, because I thought the blues would go really well with this. And that's how the thought process started before I started the layout. Now, I didn't get anything prepared beforehand. So you'll see that lots of things, I hold them up to the layout and then I move them over to the right. I don't like to miss out, to think that I might have missed something that would be suitable on a layout. So quite often I try things that may not make it. I particularly like these layers from 49 and Market. They're already a bit like file folders. I think they're really perfect to layer up. And I do want plenty of layers behind the photograph. So you may notice this isn't my normal environment table wise to be scrapping. I'm actually at a retreat at this stage, so I don't have as much room as I normally do to space out. So I do apologise as well for the shine. I'm using a different system to record the making of this video. So you can see what I'm doing there in the corner. I've lifted off the essentially the photograph and all the areas underneath it, the matting. And I'm coming in with the 49 and Market rub-ons. Now what I will say is I absolutely love their rub-ons. I used to like rub-ons years ago when they were popular, but whatever 49 and Market have done with their rub-ons, they have. They're just so easy to use. I think they choose really good designs. I particularly like these ones. There's scripts and there's ink blots, and I think it actually breaks up the craft cardstock really nicely. I'm just looking really to add another layer. I decide I'm going to add some to the base layer as well, so I'm going to add them in the bottom corners just to give it a bit more of a distressed vintage feel. I think you can't really go wrong with these. The tool comes in the pack and you just slowly lift up the transfer layer over the top to make sure that they've been secured completely. The biggest problem that I had is that you may notice I've had my nails done. I don't have that done very often because I can't have them done for work. And I actually struggled to pick up the transfer layout just because the ends of my nails were a bit thick, which did make me smile because that's obviously not a drama that I have normally. But it certainly didn't stop me using the rub-ons. And I'm adding another good section there at the top. I've also brought in, you may have noticed, like the ripped notebook edge there. I think that was a bit more masculine to go along the torn edge of the cardstock. So I'm just seeing, I'd like a few more added in, and I'm going to add them right up to that torn edge to make it look as if they were torn with the cardstock. This is from the 6x8 set of rub-ons. They do 12 by 12 ones as well. So I'm just cutting them off the backgrounds with the cutting them off the sheets with the background intact, so then I can actually put them in position. But you can cut into them a number of times to get them exactly where you want. This one was a bit big, a lot would be hidden by the photo, so I'm going to bring it back there. I keep bringing in the photo cluster just to see. There's no point wasting the rub-ons underneath it, so that's why it looks a bit patchy at the moment, but once the centre is placed back in, it should make a lot more sense where they are. And as I say, it just adds just another layer of embellishment to this layout. And I think it'll be about time to start to stick everything down. So I'm going to use some craft foam there. It's just children's craft foam as a base, just to lift everything up. And I'm going to start to slowly but surely stick the layers down. Obviously, I've taken it apart, so it may not be exactly the same as before, but that's absolutely fine. That's a little bit of music paper. I've just trimmed that down a bit further, and I'm going to just start sticking all that together. And while I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Scrap the Boys. I don't know whether you knew about them before. This is only my second month on their DT, so I'm very new. It's an IG and a Facebook group. Every month there is a challenge. There's an amazing design team that goes with it. Lots of examples for you to see to get you scrapping your boys. And I would really recommend you check them out because there's some really great challenges. There's lots you can look back on particularly on the Facebook and Instagram. You can look back and see what's gone before. And I would really recommend it. But for me, using Kraft Cardstock has really been a challenge, but I'm actually really enjoying the layout I'm producing, and I do in the end really like what I've made. Also, if you're new to my channel, if you'd like to give me a thumbs up or subscribe, you'll find there's a multitude of videos already stored, and there's always a good selection that will go up during the month. So if you fancy doing that, that would be great too. So I'm just looking at adding a cluster there at the bottom of the photograph. You might have noticed that I added the photo. I've just tucked it in the frame by one corner, and I added a little bit more craft foam underneath that. I'm just looking at all the bits and pieces. I'm always terrible that I don't want to miss out on anything. So I'm just trying a few bits to see what might work. I fancy adding something extra there on the bottom left. So I do try a few bits. These laser cuts are also stunning by 49er Market. I really like them. You have to treat them delicately when you're lifting them out, but they do look stunning on a layout. So the main body of it is now stuck down, and I'm just looking for that something special for that corner. And I do, as you can see, I think the grey one makes the cut, and I do add another stamp there as well. I don't want to detract from the photograph, but I do also want to add a couple of the butterflies as well, just so that I can add some decoration to the blue on the left. You'll notice that when I joined the blue to the craft, I added a little bit of ribbon or lace, and I've gathered it a little in places. It's not too frilly, but it just reminds me of the collar that my granddad's wearing in the photo. And I did add the notebook edges in it. It's not a 12 by 12 notebook edge, which is fine. I've just tucked it in two places, the two pieces that were on the laser cuts. And it's enough that it just separates the craft from the edge. And I really like the way that, particularly with the rub-ons, has worked. So these are just some foam pads that I'm bringing in so I can attach the butterflies. I've stuck down the flowers a little bit more securely. I've got a couple of bits of rub-ons that I'm playing with, but I don't think they make it in the end. But I do want to add a couple more butterflies. And I just bring in a couple more rub-ons as well, just to fill any gaps that I thought needed something around the photograph, or just to extend some of the areas that I'd already started. So this is the finished layout. Thank you so much for watching. Do check out the challenge. I really would recommend it. Get your mojo started. Here's some close-ups too. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again here real soon. Bye for now.